Welcome everybody to this webinar on Tableau Cloud migration, cutting through the chaos with Tableau Cloud. And this is a encore, a repeat session that I've done with my two esteemed guests today from the Tableau Conference 2025. Just before I pass over to our first speaker, you'll see in your GoToWebinar interface that there is a way to ask questions. So please do ask your questions at any time, and we'll make sure to answer to everything at the end. Also, this webinar is recorded, so we will send you a thank you email with the link, so you can always record, look at it later on. And there'll be a super quick survey when you leave today. We always like to know what we've done well, what we can do better. So please take just 1 minute to fill out that survey. So, all right, without further ado, Nick, over to you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Patrick. Hello and welcome everyone to today's session. We're super excited to bring you the session that we held in San Diego, this time virtually. So when we are in San Diego, we made a very awkward joke in the beginning that we cannot see the slides here because there's so much chaos, and we asked everyone to participate in a very small quiz, and I would like to do the very same with you and try to figure out how much chaos there is in the organizations that you are joining us from this afternoon or this morning. So I would really would like to find out, if you can go to the next slide. Apparently I cannot move myself. Brilliant, now it works. So I would really like to know from each and every one of you, if you are working for a company that uses more than one analytics platform, and you should receive a very tiny question, a very tiny poll any second now. So yeah, there we go. So just very quickly getting a sense of how you're dealing with analytics these days.
It's 100% so far, Nick. I'll move to the next one.
Brilliant. Then second question is, do you know how many of your platforms are actually in use with real users and a clear business case?
Oh, on this one, we have maybe somebody clicked no by me. Actually, no. It's 70-30 on the no, Nick, on this one.
Makes sense in this case.
Right.
Third question is, if you have ever experienced that the same KPI was reported twice in a meeting, for example, and no one really knew who to trust.
Right, still lots of voting. It's very nice. 75% on the yes here.
Brilliant. And then last question really is, do you have the feeling that despite all the efforts, all the time that we pour into making the analytics platform as performant and as good as possible, we still didn't reduce the time between question and answer good enough?
People are a little bit more shy on answering on this one, but actually 50% of the people have voted so far, and it's 100% yes.
Brilliant. Right, so we did the very same thing in San Diego, and the answers were very, very similar. So I think it's very fair to say that analytical platforms in enterprises have grown out of control. Usually what we see is that there's too many platforms, there's unclear business value, users and stakeholders are confused, you likely overspend by too many platforms, and you under-deliver. So you have seen that there's many people in the audience today. We have seen that there's many people in the audience when we're in San Diego. And actually what Patrick, Geoffrey, and I see in each and every day in our projects is that these analytical platforms have grown into monsters. And it's no surprise to us if we walk into the doors of an enterprise that we sometimes see 5 or 6 different analytical platforms there. The good news is that you're not alone, as you've seen. And the good news is that I'm here today with Patrick and Geoffrey to help you cut through the chaos with a Tableau Cloud migration. So why don't you say hi quickly? I mean, Patrick, you already said hi, but Geoffrey, what about you?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Geoffrey. I'm the CEO of Wiiisdom. So we're a consultancy that is specialized in Tableau and Snowflake. And yeah, I'm here to help you talk about our solution to migrate faster to cloud.
Brilliant. And like I said, that we are moving to Tableau Cloud and try to cut through this chaos, I came up with this fancy image of the three of us as your tour guides. And I think this is still one of the best depictions of the three of us. Patrick, did you want to say something about yourself too? Sorry, I skipped over you.
I was just going to say this is the best use of ChatGPT. But anyway, yes, I'm Patrick. I'm the head of product here at Wiiisdom, and alongside Deloitte and Bistory, we are here to work with you around migration. But we specialize in automated testing and validation, all around analytics, governance. So, but it will be my turn a little bit later on. And on that, over to you, Geoffrey. Let me know if the clicking around doesn't work for you.
Let me just test it out here. It does not work, so you'll have to click for me. So why is Tableau Cloud a key to success, and why should we move to Tableau Cloud? Of course, that's a question too. If you're using Tableau for a long time, luckily the platform of Tableau is not very admin heavy, but still, if you're running this on-premise in your organization or running this on any cloud like AWS, Azure, hosted by yourself, it does require some maintenance. It requires you to update the machines, to have performance checked, to see if everything is being run properly, to see if the services are available. So there's quite some maintenance necessary like with every solution you run on-premise or manage yourself. So we see customers migrating to cloud for that. Just one second. We see customers migrating to cloud for that because you want your organization to be able to scale. You don't want that overhead of server management. And also, I think upgrading a traditional Tableau server is not a super expensive or cumbersome task, but it does require some planning and some upgrade mentality. We have seen a shift from most vendors, and Tableau is also not alone in here, is that they will push updates and innovation to their own cloud platform first. So the newest features, the newest updates will always be on par on Tableau Cloud, which things like Tableau Pulse and Tableau's AI agent will be available on Tableau Cloud. And all these small features are being updated on a monthly basis, which gives your users more freedom and get access to those innovative features. From a security point of view, Tableau now being part of Salesforce, running on the Hyperforce pods with a trusted layer that is Salesforce's strongest push, one of their values to the market, is really helping customers be secure, be certified, and knowing all necessary certification for certain industries will be present. And obviously, you want to be able to scale your organization and want to grow your user base without having to worry about any server performance. Yes, moving on. So what challenges do you have when you move to cloud? What kind of things do you need to consider? Most of the migrations, of course, require some housekeeping. It's not that we're just going to move something from left to right and say good luck. As always, when you move a house, when you transfer to a new phone, you always want to do some housekeeping and reorganize your structure. So most of these Tableau servers or Tableau environments are structured in what we call multiple sites, and the sites are an isolated wall between different organizations to have departments or have maybe different regions like in EMEA or an APAC or a US region in your environment. And then there's different sub-projects we are being used for departments or for certain topics in your organization. Obviously, we want to do some cleanup and really look at that. As always, some things get a bit dirty and messy. It's the same with the house. You want to look at the organization of your Tableau server and see what content is stale, what content is not being used, what users are not being active, what projects are double. Do we have maybe a copy of multiple dashboards? Just random things. We do a little organization around that. And then we have to look at how do we move that into a cloud site with maybe less sites, because this, depending on the license you have with Tableau Cloud, you have access to a number of sites. And maybe we reorganize this into sub-project structures that really work for you. Okay, moving forward.
And Geoffrey, I see the mouse moving. Maybe it's working now if you click.
I will try again. No, clicking does not do anything for me. I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay. Then maybe it's Nick. There you go.
It's not me.
So, and the second challenge is, of course, your connectivity. Luckily, we're living in a cloud-first strategy globally, and most of our data sources or systems will be cloud-based. And if it's cloud-based, it means it has some API or another way to connect to the backend data of this whole organization. Platforms like Snowflake, Databricks are completely available in cloud only. But, however, the reality is that our companies and systems still have applications that might run on an on-premise SQL server, or there's some good old Excel files and CSV files we're still using, or there's some SharePoint running in the back of the room somewhere where data has to be extracted from. Now, Tableau Cloud allows you to use either Bridge or Direct Connect to really access on-premise data in a secure tunnel, so your data is securely transferred to Tableau Cloud, and only the Tableau Bridge or Direct Connect can access that data and connect to it. So that's something you have to take into account to potentially set up a bridge if you have a lot of on-premise connections. Also, we advise strongly, if there's a few small on-premise connectors, it might be also the moment to look at that and say, can we not migrate that into a cloud environment, cloud data warehouse? But it's certainly possible to keep running that data if it's required. That's the second big challenge we're talking about. So how do we solve all that? How do you migrate with Tableau? Well, Tableau has their own migration content tool, which is a very technical tool that uses an API to move content, but it does not support everything. So in lots of ways, I would say it's a semi-manual migration effort, where you really have to do a lot of things manually. And what Bistery really developed and introduced with our knowledge of Tableau is we've automated every step of the move, and we want to make it as simple, and as I'll hold my phone again, as simple as using your phone. When you move phones, these days, you also just have to say, this is my old phone, this is my new phone. You have to press a button and everything starts copying and moving. Obviously, a migration from a Tableau server is a little bit more complex, but in essence, TabMove is a product we've built that actually takes all the assets, identifies everything. After we did a little housekeeping, exclude some things, include these things, maybe have a new way of authentication for your users if you want to change that. Maybe reset or recycle passwords. Everything is possible to be configured. And then we start moving these assets into bulks where we can accelerate a migration up to 10-fold versus the traditional method you can use using Tableau's tool or the manual migration. So essentially, we just download a copy of everything that is on your Tableau server. We store that on a machine that can be running in your environment, so no data escapes your enterprise environment. And then we upload that securely and safely in batch to Tableau Cloud. Yes. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of things that require manual work. Things from projects to workbooks to flows to even permissions and maybe favorites and custom views that users have set up, or subscriptions. All these things are being automated in TabMove and being picked up and then migrated clean to the Tableau Cloud environment, managed by one of Bistery or Deloitte consultants. How does the migration process work? I already mentioned it a little bit. So we do a bit of discovery. The discovery is where we send you quite a complex Tableau workbook that is going to run only on your Tableau server. Again, no data escapes your Tableau server. The only thing it will generate is a bunch of information and screenshots we can analyze that will pull every piece of information that we can pull from your Tableau server, from connections to users, to data sources, to dashboards, to most views, to custom views, and that will all be pulled in. Based on that, we can give you an estimate of quite a sizing that your migration would look like. And then we go into a scoping workshop, which is really a workshop hands-on with your team to really identify, okay, let's do the house cleaning. Then we plan this migration into one or multiple waves, depending on the size of your migration. And then we start moving that complete setup once the Tableau Cloud setup is active. And then we, of course, introduce testing and validation with implementation of Wiiisdom's product, which Patrick is going to talk about in a bit. Automated testing is a big part of that. And then we give you a 30-day guarantee, no cure, no pay, where we actually guarantee that everything is moved. And after those 30 days, we check off and we say, welcome on Tableau Cloud. Your user get onboarding emails. They have to change nothing. They just get redirected to a new machine. They have all documentation available. And optionally, both Deloitte and Bistri can then offer you maybe a Pulse or an AI agent kickstart workshop, really talking about the new features that are not available on Tableau Server today, that are available on Tableau Cloud. And I think getting to my next and last slide is the easiest point of it all. We do fixed timing, no surprises. So that's important to really note, is that fixed timing, fixed price. We guarantee to put this in what we call t-shirt sizing, as you can see on the screen. There's small, medium, large, and extra large. So we scope these migrations into buckets. If it is quite a complex migration, and I would say as an example, a migration that is maybe over thousands of users, then we fall into the extra large bucket, but then we still bucket the waves into different t-shirts. So it can be that you say, this site is a medium migration and these two other sites on my Tableau server are a large migration, and it's really transparent how we then add that up completely to a full migration to be scoped. Yeah, you can continue. To give you an example, because I'm saying a lot of things that it's fast and it's good and it's superb, but what does that actually mean? We have now moved, I think, well over close to 70 customers by now, and migrated thousands of users and tons of gigabytes and terabytes of data. But an example is, for example, TVH, which is one of our customers, a global customer in specific construction and materials, heavy materials. And they actually moved 9 times faster to Tableau Cloud with Tab Moves. They had 2,500 users, 450 data sources, and 2,000 workbooks to be moved in 250 projects. We did with them a scoping workshop in a few days. We did some house cleaning, and the actual migration process throughput time was 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, they were completely migrated to Tableau Cloud. And this is what we call a large migration for them. And that is just to show how fast we can move with these kind of customers. This is the quote from one of our customers. There's more testimonials on our website, but as you can see, they are very happy. Many migrating 2,000 workbooks. It's a top migration tool, fast and reliable, and excellent technical expertise. Very happy with that feedback. And with that, I'm going to give it back to Patrick, who's also now going to talk about how automated testing and analytics governance then is the last cycle of this complete nice play.
Thank you, Geoffrey. So indeed, like I said at the beginning, Wiiisdom, we're an analytics governance company for Tableau. And one of the pillars that we're working with Tableau is to support migrations. And in the case of the webinar today, migrations from Tableau Server to Tableau Cloud. Yeah, you can see somebody is clicking on my, on my thing. It's working now for somebody else. All right, let me just remove access to the keyboard now, because it's for some reason people can interact with my things now. Okay, so yes, so Wiiisdom solution for governance, and in this case migration. Now BizStory and Deloitte will work with you to work on this change management project, to do some advisory. TabMove will be an awesome solution to lift and shift this content that you need to on Tableau Cloud, making sure everything is reconfigured and working as it was before. But how can you prove the success of this migration over hundreds and even thousands of workbook is by detecting errors. And what Wiiisdom will do for you, again, it's an automated way of selecting 10, 100, thousands of workbooks and detect if there are any issues. Now, the benefits of having an engine doing that for you, just like TabMove, is you skip the manual aspect of doing this migration. So you automate the lift and shift, you automate the validation, and you can test that way everything, not just 5% of the content or the content which is seen as the most used, the most important. Just test everything if you choose to. This will overall enhance productivity of your current team. So your your employees continue to do their job as opposed to testing content, overall, it will reduce cost, time, and risk. And this will guarantee and secure the validation process. We've heard from companies before that they may not want to use offshoring team to test content, although it may be seen as less costly than using onshoring employees. Sometimes these offshoring teams do not have access to production data, production content. So again, having a solution that works on premise, on your own server, like Jeffrey said, nothing escape your environment, is a more secure way of doing things. So to summarize the flow or the project that you could have by working with all those three companies is Deloitte could be great help with BizStory in terms of the preparation of this project. Now, if you want to automate as opposed to manual do the migration, Tabmove is a solution for you. And again, if you want to automate the validation, where Wiiisdom will do side-by-side regression testing, at the same time will give you the performance comparison between Tableau Server and Tableau Cloud. Nobody wants to have a worse user experience once they go to this really nice new and cool platform. And on top of that, we can even do more advanced testing, such as functional. We can validate the data, validate the security, row-level security behind the data. So there's a lot of things that Wiiisdom can automate for you around ensuring the success of this migration. This is a quote from a former SVP at Tableau, who we have partnered in this exact context of doing migration. And just like Geoffrey mentioned about his quote, we're really proud to have this quote from a senior VP of the product team at Tableau about our capabilities around governance and testing of Tableau content. How Wiiisdom, and in the end, you will get an audit trail, a full documented results of everything that we've tested, every errors that we found, if any, and when we found errors, we'll give you the complete details. And you see here an example where on the right side, this is the dashboard in Tableau Cloud, and visually we can see that there are differences. We'll even highlight where the differences are, and then if there's other issues, in this case here, the data is different, the filters are different, maybe there was something wrong with one of the data sources, or maybe an extract was not refreshed on time. Again, Wiiisdom will track all of these things for you, give you the details, so accelerating the troubleshooting. We have a couple of cool case studies here. One from a financial services company, the other one from an insurance. At the end of the day, it's that cutting costs, do things faster, automated. And in the case of the insurance company, because they are regulated, it was even to prove, thanks to that documentation to the auditors, that the migration was successful, that indeed everything was tested, as opposed to receiving an email, okay, we're done, but we can't prove anything. So we have lots of really nice case studies here to present. Now, a couple more slides before I pass back over to Nick for the conclusion. You now to Tableau Cloud. Congratulations, you can start using the new AI solutions, Tableau Pulse agents, and you're now operating just in cloud. But it is such a good opportunity to embrace governance and start your governance journey, or maybe enhance it if you were doing it a little bit, but you always wanted to do a bit more. Because at Wiiisdom, on top of the automated testing, we can do all the things around governance, and the issue is to reduce or to avoid these BI issues that I'm sure you have encountered before, between people questioning if the data is correct or not, if the experience is bad because things are too slow, just don't open, people who wants to leverage AI but wonder if they can trust it. Again, you need to put governance around all of these things. And if people have issues, people stop trusting, and trust has a lot of different issues. You see some of these on the screen, but adoption as well. And nobody wants people to go back to exporting to Excel, work offline in silos, ungoverned, unregulated. So again, governance is really important. So as a conclusion from me, prepare your migration, move to Tableau Cloud with Tabmove, validate everything with Wiiisdom. Once you're up and running, continue to work with all 3 companies or and use Wiiisdom to make sure that you scale, you make content more trustworthy, and you have governance at the heart of your processes on Tableau Cloud. All right, Nick, over to you.
Brilliant. So we do not have much time left. So I just want to leave you with 5 practical tips. And I just ask you to take a quick screenshot of the 2 following slides, because we don't, I'm really interested in any potential questions rather. These 5 practical steps really give you a short overview of what we think you should do starting today to get a really good overview of your current analytics use cases, and then really identify what is holding you back from actually migrating to Tableau Cloud. So if you take a screenshot here and then on the next slide, then I think this sets you up really, really well. And if there's any further issues with your migration journey, we have a very special re-announcement to make. So it's no coincidence that the 3 of us are here together, because we formally are now partnering across the companies of Deloitte Consulting Germany, Wiiisdom, and Bistory to help you to achieve Tableau Cloud adoption faster, more reliable, secure, with the help of the 3 partners. And with that, over to you, Patrick.
Thank you, Nick. In terms of screenshots, and again, everything is recorded, so you'll receive the recording, and I believe also a PDF of the slide deck, but a couple of QR codes here if you want to know more about migrations to Tableau Cloud. We wrote an ebook here with some, steps, methodologies, and checklists. And also for those of you who have Tableau Plus, the license type Tableau Plus, you have access to something called release preview sites. So you have access to a Tableau site of the next release of Tableau before it's in production to do further testing. Very useful for regulated industries. Again, you'll find some extra documentations here if you want to screenshot that. All right, and on that, I would like to thank our 2 speakers today, Nick and Geoffrey. And if you have any questions, there is one. Geoffrey's for you. Don't go anywhere. But there are any questions, it's good opportunity now to ask them before we go. All right. Question, Geoffrey, I said this one is for you. It's from Raphael. Raphael, thank you very much for your question. And he's asking if the Tableau prep flows and virtual collections are migrated to Tableau Cloud as well with Tabmove, or if those are a manual process.
Well, if we say everything is automated, then we say everything is automated. So the short answer is yes, they are being migrated.
Excellent. Well, everything's migrated, everything's automated. I love it. Okay, we are bang on time, 4 p.m. here in the UK. If there's no other questions, or we'll have some of the questions we'll answer offline. So thank you again for your time, everybody. Nice to see you again, my 2 co-speakers in San Diego. And well, until the next time, have a good rest of your day and evening.